He is. He is really cool to watch. How does Ilia do against the top 5? How does Ilia do against the top 5? I don't know if he does well. I think this might be a backfire moment on Ilia. I'm sensing it. I was watching back Ilia's career, chat, and God, let me know when I stop cooking, okay? Let me just read out some things. Arman versus Colby at 170. Who wins? Arman. Young Philly is... No, probably Colby based on the Gamrot fight. Probably Colby. No, Arman will win. Arman would body kick TKO. Young Philly is Epstein impression. A man said an island, you man. All right. Right, watch this. Ilia actually trained with Covington before, funnily enough. I think this would be a backfire for Ilia Topuria. So Yusuf Zalal was on a losing streak when he fought Ilia Topuria. Okay? No, he wasn't. He was on a winning streak, but he took the fight on short notice in the UFC. Okay? But either way, Ilia took the fight on short notice, sorry. So that, forget the Yusuf Zalal, whatever I just said. But he then went on to lose 2 in a row, including a loss to Sung Woo Choi after losing to Ilia Topuria. Okay? Damon Jackson. Do I rate a Damon Jackson win? It's the way he's doing it that's very, very impressive. But, man, do I rate a Damon Jackson win? I don't really rate it that much. Then I'm looking at Ryan Hall. And I know Joe Rogan loved him because Jiu-Jitsu's Rogan's game. But, man, I don't know. He fought Derek Minner after that. He's coming off a win over Darren Elkins and BJ Penn and Gray Maynard. The Unk Avengers came out to beat him. You know, he took Darren Elkins to a decision. I know Ilia's young. But then Jai Herbert dropped him and he ended up finishing Jai Herbert. Impressive. Bryce Mitchell took that fight up on short notice. He was supposed to fight Edson Barboza, Ilia Topuria. He was supposed to fight Edson Barboza at the end of October. And he ended up fighting Bryce in December instead. So that was interesting. So that sort of got shifted together as a matchup. Then Josh Emmett, which is a great win that he got, but he took him to a decision. Volk was like 2 months removed from being KO'd badly by Makhachev and moving back down a division. He shouldn't have been in there. I like Ilia. I think Ilia's really good, but I don't know if I can trust him to pull off these finishes against lightweights. Lightweights are tricky to finish, man. Especially the top lightweights. Holloway's a great win. I love the Holloway win. He put away Holloway. Great win. Very close fight before that, but he put away Holloway, and I thought he was beating him before that. Volk was doing really good against him, and then he caught Volk. Volk just been KO'd 2 months before. I think these lightweights are going to be too big, I think. I have a feeling, forget what I'm saying about his career as much. I just think the lightweights are going to be too big. I was watching the Bryce Mitchell fight again. I was watching... I don't know. I love him, but he doesn't close distance that well. I just think he overswings sometimes, and he goes for like these big, big 3-punch combo, and it whiffs. And if you're doing that at lightweight, these guys are going to shoot in on your hips and be bigger than you. It's tricky, man. I think lightweight's a tricky move. He takes a lot of shots every time he does. He took a lot of shots off Bryce. Chat, I rewatched the Bryce fight. Yes or no? He kind of got hurt a little bit by Bryce. I'm going to put it on right now in the background while the stream goes. I know I can't have conversations because I've got to just read bullshit right now, but... He kind of got backed up a little bit by Bryce with like a combination at one point. A little bit. Not badly. But there was a moment where he went, oh, hang on, let me fucking reset here. Bryce is stinging me with some shots. I swear. I was watching it back the other day. I don't know. It's very tricky to say. I have a sense that this is going to backfire for Ilia at lightweight. Quit coping. No, I'm not coping for Bryce at all. I picked Ilia all his way through his career. But I don't know, man. I don't see him. I worry about him. Whenever I think about the matchups for him at lightweight, I do worry that they're going to put hands on him. Because he does get hit a lot at featherweight. He does get hit a lot. And at lightweight, you can't get hit that much before getting your shot off and putting someone down. You know? Like if Oliveira puts hands on him early, I don't think there's a chance of, oh, well, Ilia will bounce back. Wait until the third or the second round. Then he'll catch Oliveira. You know? I think he'll beat Gaethje, though. I'll never pick Gaethje to win a fucking fight ever. But, man, I do worry about some of these matchups for Ilia. He's very hittable because he doesn't move and float. Don't you think, chat? He's very heavy on his lead leg. He leans over himself a ton. And he doesn't float, man. He doesn't float around in fights. Like, he doesn't move. I know I've missed donos. I'm trying to have a conversation before reading some fucking bullshit. Shut the fuck up. Fucking bitch. I'll get to the bullshit in a second. Having a conversation about something MMA related, you dumb fuck. Before I ban you out my chat. I don't know, man. I feel like Ilia doesn't float around. There's no movement. There's no shiftiness. He just steps in heavy on his lead leg with his feet right on the ground. And that's what gives him his power. But I don't know. And it also means he's got good ability to find when takedowns are coming his way. I just think he's right there for like big, massive kicks to his arms and his head and knees to the body and a lot of things that a guy who's taller than him with a lot of bulk on them as well at lightweight is going to give him a problem with. I don't know. No, his brother Alejandro's not a better version. Shut the fuck up. Not a better version at all. I don't like his movement though, man. He has a bully style. He does, and that style doesn't work up a division. So I am doubting him at lightweight, to be honest with you. I've been watching back fights. I know I was saying he's the one to beat Makhachev, but I don't know if he's the one to beat Makhachev. I can see Makhachev like clashing with him and then clinching with a knee up the middle, big head kick across Ilia's arms. Then he shoots in once Ilia brings his arms up. I don't see Ilia just throwing Makhachev off of him at lightweight. That would be shocking to me if he does that. Anyway. Ilia beats Islam but gets tuned the fuck up by Poirier. I don't know if you can like say that logically though. So many stalemate, boring fights at the moment. Don't understand how some corners don't scream at their fighters to throw the kitchen sink when they're 2 rounds down. I know. Dude, I just watched Bryce front kick Ilia in the face in round 1. 3 minutes, 21 seconds. 3:20. Bang. Front kicked Ilia in the face. While Ilia's pouring in. Ilia cracked him back. Either way. Who's going to carry the bolts, lads? Love him, but he doesn't close distance that well. I don't know, man. He's good, isn't he? He's got really good instincts. He's good on the spot in terms of his reflexes. But I just think someone who can kick well at range and float well. Holloway's good, but he doesn't have, like, off the back foot power like that, you know? Another front kick to the body from Bryce. Side kick to the body and he moves. Moves out of the way. Little combo from Bryce there. Shoots in. Gets to the single leg. Pushes Ilia up against the cage. Ilia stuffs it. But this ain't Makhachev. You know what I mean? This is 2 minutes 25 in the first round. 2 minutes 25 on the clock. Bryce gets to a single leg. Pushes him into the cage. Does get Ilia down, but Ilia gets right back up. If that's Makhachev, man. If that's Makhachev, I don't know. If he just gets back up there and shucks him off of him once they get down. Goody lad. What's up, Matt Daniels? Lighter man skill plus speed and power will carry over for Topuria. The best lightweights are former featherweights. Makhachev ain't a former featherweight. He may have fought there when he was very young, but he's not, is he? But I know what you mean about the others. Bryce weaves out the way of him, makes him miss. Knee to the body. No version of Volk is eating that Ilia overhand. I'm very confident he'll knock out anybody in the lightweight division. Oh, I don't know, man. He doesn't eat the overhand, but is he there for it if he takes that 2 months off? I think Ilia would beat him regardless, but Volk, Bryce Mitchell gets down Ilia Topuria, minute and 5 seconds on the clock in round 1. He's over him. He's got him down on the ground. Minute and 5 seconds left on the clock. Mitchell's got him on the ground. Half guard. Ilia back to full guard. Bryce on top for a minute straight at the end of the round. If that's a big lightweight, man. Bryce is like 5'9", right? Makhachev's what, 5'10 and a half? 15 pounds on Bryce, easily. Massive, big muscles on top in his torso. I don't know. We'll see. Dustin becoming Ilia's Nate Diaz would be crazy. No, I think he would beat Poirier and Gaethje. But Arman, Oliveira, and Makhachev, I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking about it yesterday. I don't know. Volk dealt with the strongest dude in the division. Yeah, but Volk's fucking really good scrambler. And the thing is with Volk, he has a style, chat, where once he's scrambled for a long time, he can still be effective. As much as he took it on short notice, when he scrambled around with Yusuf Zalal, he became very ineffective in the later rounds. You know? I don't know if he can scramble like that with Makhachev for a round or two and still have that one-shot power to put him out. You know? People forget, man, Zalal had Ilia in trouble. I know, but Makhachev got slept by Adriano Martins, you know what I mean? So things happen early in careers. I'm not saying that, but... You know. I have a feeling Arman would batter Ilia. I don't know. I think Arman's in that mix of danger for him. Arman, Oliveira, and Makhachev are the danger for him. I'm sick of midgets moving up. I can't make weight. I know, yeah. Thank you for the 2. I mean, let's face it, though. If Ilia's lightweight move is unsuccessful, he will get a title shot at featherweight when he comes back down. It's just these moments where Ilia will shake off Bryce, but Bryce is still getting straight to a single leg on him, you know what I mean? Bryce getting to his hips consistently. Big fan, Guru. You know this. Continue to notice him, bruv. Thank you very much for the $2, dude. I appreciate you. Do you have any idea what your record... Okay, he didn't have Ilia hurt, but he definitely had him backing up for a moment here in round 2. But that was right after he got finished. Right before he got finished. So around the 3:55 mark. He shoots in on Ilia. Ilia stuffs it. And pushes him off. Bryce pushes him into the cage. And then Bryce just kind of goes for him in some weird blitz. And it just looks ugly from Ilia. 1-2 from Bryce. 3-4. Head kick partially lands. He just gets a moment of success where he kind of makes Ilia reset a bit. But then Ilia cracks right back. And Bryce kind of loses all composure in the second round and becomes exhausted. And that's when Ilia cracks him and puts him down. I just wonder if one of these lightweights gets him in those positions where they're able to push him backwards a bit. And if they can grapple a bit more effectively early, they'll give him real problems. I don't know. I say potato, you say potato. Okay, I think both people say potato, though. Not saying he wins, but Paddy eats that overhand. Yeah. Even there, I think if Bryce was more patient on the feet here. You know, they're getting scrappy in this second round, and Ilia's pushing forward. I think if Bryce was more patient here, instead of trying to really desperately go for that takedown, I think he could have done a bit better if he popped a jab there instead, but he kind of shot in lazy and then Ilia threw him over and got the sub eventually, you know? Is what it is. Not saying he wins, but Paddy eats that overhand. I don't think he eats the overhand of Ilia. I'm not betting on these guys to just eat the overhand. I just think I worry about a bully moving up in weight all the time. It's a worrying thing. You guys don't understand boxing-wise, Ilia's really trash in open stance. Especially against southpaws, he doesn't understand hand fighting. No, I disagree with you completely. There are aspects where people will be hit with punches in MMA. That's just a natural occurrence of things. I don't think he's trash. Most MMA fighters are. I know what you mean. They're not boxing though, are they? If they were in a boxing ring, they wouldn't do things the same way they do. I just think there's openings, man. And I think Bryce got a little bit desperate for takedowns. I think if someone can shoot early and effectively grapple early and then find comfort on the feet, they can give him big problems. And they're so much bigger than Ilia, man. Ilia isn't tall for featherweight. These guys are going to be 5'11" and broad and strong. You know? Lightweights are massive compared to featherweights. They're like Holloway, but not anorexic. Can you take a 15-inch? All right, calm down. Have you seen a video of Joe Pyfer shit? Yeah, but with Mayer and Santos Francis Marshall, you know what it is? I understand what the judges consider. And a lot of people don't do that. They don't watch the fights as closely as I do when it comes to scoring it. When I'm watching the fights, I do very heavy play-by-play. So I score fights by minutes. You know what I mean? So I'm good at keeping track on who's winning. Obviously, there can be robberies and stuff. But typically in big fights, I'm pretty good at knowing live odds and sensing the flow of a fight. I do very well with them. Better than I do with just general predictions. Even there, Bryce fucking front kicked him in the face in round 2. Counter left hook. Ilia runs in. Bryce fucking front kicks him in the face there. Ilia just bruises through it and cruises through it and lands another big shot. And Bryce eventually shoots a weak takedown. And then gets thrown over by Ilia because he's getting desperate for the takedown. I think he said he was ill for this fight, right? And Ilia gets him in an arm triangle. I don't know though, man. I worry for him at lightweight. Short notice, it was for Bryce, yeah. Ilia's improved since then. I know he has, but... Dude, Makhachev is... Makhachev. You know, I know he might have improved and he's more patient and he's more experienced now at championship level, but... These lightweights can fucking grapple good, man. They're really good at grappling. Really, really good at grappling. They're a lot better grapplers than the featherweights. I mean, hell, even the bantamweights are better grapplers than the featherweights, man. Look how Aljo done a lot of them. Look how Aljo fared with Evloev while being a bit smaller than him. You know? They're really good. Like, they have good entries and stuff. Lightweight is that jump as well. I feel like featherweight's been void of that for a while. I don't know, man. Harder to KO. Easier to get KOs themselves. I'm not sure about Ilia at lightweight. Pyfer's saltiness is such a funny character, already. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's very salty. Islam got his takedown stuffed by old man Dustin, coming off a win against Benoit Saint-Denis with staff. Ilia will be just fine if that fight ever happens. Way better grappling and boxing too. Ugh, let me just read. Because this is my take when it comes to Islam Makhachev, Dustin Poirier. So, let me tell you this about Islam got his takedown shucked off against Poirier, yeah? Islam Makhachev took down Dustin Poirier at 4 minutes 25 seconds of round 1. Dustin Poirier didn't get back up until the end of the round. So, I understand that in the later rounds, Dustin Poirier stuffed takedowns of Islam Makhachev. Makhachev got him down within 30 seconds, and Poirier didn't get back up until the end of the round. So, I just think Poirier's style is, if you wear out his arms, he's cool with that. You know what I mean? He can fight in that messy, sloppy fight because he's got the durability and the experience. He's not trying to take your head off with punches, you know? He'll pepper you with shots, volume heavy, press you up against the fence, beat you up to the body and the head. I don't know. You say he got his takedown shucked off. Makhachev controlled him for 4 minutes and 30 seconds of round 1. I know I'm comparing two different styles. That's my fucking point. I think Ilia's not going to deal well with being grappled for a whole round and then still have that shut your lights off power in round 2 and 3. I don't know. I'm worried for Ilia at lightweight, man. What will Ilia do if Charles hurts him? Shoot and get submitted? Yeah, exactly. I don't know about his... I mean, he handled Jai Herbert, I guess. But in hindsight, you know how embarrassing that is? I know he took that on short notice, but he was ready for a fight. I know he stepped up, but... Head kick dropped in round 1 by Jai Herbert? Like, who the fuck does Jai Herbert hurt in a fight? And it's because he's big, rangy. Like, he's a big lightweight guy. I'm not switching up, man. I'm just watching fights and expanding my opinion past the moment after. The moment after a KO. I know Islam got KO'd by Adriano. There's no point arguing with you guys. You don't see. You're blind. Some of you, anyway. Thank you for the 10. Coming off a win against Benoit Saint-Denis with staff, Ilia will be just fine if that fight ever happens. Way better grappling and... I don't know. Joe got Montezuma's revenge, so did Poopy Godinez. I mean, Ilia could win. I could still pick him. I'm just arguing Makhachev's case here. And Oliveira's case and Arman's case against him. They're really good, man. I'm sub membership. I will say, though, Ilia, Makhachev does a lot of reaching for the clinch. That's where Ilia can take advantage of him. Because he's so short and, like, short-armed. He can, like... He has a much, like, tighter pivot for his hooks on the inside. Like, Poirier had to throw an elbow there on Makhachev. But Ilia can go... Blah, 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 body, body, head on the inside, you know? But, man, Makhachev's good. He peppers the jab. He fucking moves his feet non-stop. Keeps his hands out. Raises his shoulders whenever he gets pressured. Makhachev's very difficult to punch through the chin of. You know what I mean, chat? It's hard. It's very hard to spin Makhachev's jaw. You know? Very difficult to spin Makhachev's jaw. You can catch him with shots, but it's often like when he's tucked up and he gets hit like into his own neck. It's hard to spin through his fucking jaw. Like, it's hard to get your shot to land on him in such a position where it's also going to go through him and like take his head off. I don't take notes. I just watch fights and think about how someone moves in front of them. I can almost see Ilia's silhouette right now in front of Makhachev. Makhachev on the single leg, drives Poirier to the cage. Poirier does a really good job defending, to be fair. Does Ilia have the fucking one-punch nuke power at lightweight after hand fighting like this against Islam Makhachev for 2 rounds? You know? Does Makhachev even get him down here? No, he doesn't, actually. That's good. Poirier did very well. Very well in the fight. Very underrated performance. I think Ilia could work well with the low calf kick as well on Makhachev. Makhachev doesn't check kicks very well. Because he doesn't ever expect them, you know. He doesn't ever think someone's going to want to go on one leg against him when he's got the takedown option. Thank you for the 48 months of membership, dude. That's 4 years. Thank you, Jay. Volk is 1-4 with his last 2 losses by KO. I like him too, but how the fuck is he getting a title shot? It was just bullshit in it, really. But they just want big name fights, to be honest with you. Which is unfortunate. I'd rather him for Evloev and then Ilia versus Lopez at featherweight instead. That's where Ilia can do well. Makhachev doesn't do like first and third on the exchanges. He'll go in and then he'll cover. You know what I mean? And he'll wait for his next turn to go in. If he ever goes first, he'll never go third. you know? What's more likely, Ilia by sub or Islam by KO? Islam by KO. Yes or no, chat? Think about it like that. Ilia, I think, has to KO Islam Makhachev. I don't think he wins a decision. I don't see him submitting Makhachev. I don't see him... Well, that's all there is. Oh, that knee to the face from Makhachev there as Poirier came in. Uppercut as well. Big knee up the middle. Uppercut. You know what I mean? When he sees Poirier hunching over that lead leg. Round 3, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. 4:35. Poirier steps in like Ilia. Exactly like Ilia would over that lead leg. The little feint and then the step in. Exactly like Ilia. Big knee to the face from Makhachev. And he lands a massive uppercut. Bang. Uppercut up the middle. Big knee up the middle again. Another uppercut in the clinch. And then he's in on a body lock and pushing Poirier up against the cage. Takes him down. Takes him down in round 3. Gets his back. After getting him down. And he's on his back in round 3. I think Poirier escapes this position if I remember correctly. Makhachev takes mount over Poirier in round 3. This is where I think Ilia will crumble. And then Poirier kicks off the cage and makes a miraculous escape. Kicks off the cage. Escapes position. Gets his arm free. And he's back up. And he's swinging on Makhachev. And this is where his chance is. You were about to pick Arman to beat Islam. I know, but Arman's really good. Thank you for the $1 Australian, Mikilchi. And he's well-rounded as well. We'll find out in the first few minutes if Ilia loses. We haven't seen him... Why do people act like Arman didn't just beat Oliveira? Well, we'll find out in the first few minutes if Ilia loses. We haven't seen him recently with grapplers, and I reckon Islam won't be dumb retarded. Yeah, boy. I agree. Saw people calling Lazy Boy El Retardo. Nice. Nice little nickname for him. Masvidal versus Mike Perry in dirty big fights. Islam got sick knees as well in the clinch. I know, I just was mentioning them in round 3. But Ilia got those nasty body shots. Yeah, but did they put down Makhachev at lightweight? I don't know, man. Poirier's got good body work. Stop watching my boy not fulfill the MMA prophecy. All right. I could still see Ilia winning. I'm just... The counter arguments are seeping into my head, man. And they're becoming very clear. That's all. Personally, chat, I think Makhachev submits Holloway in 2 rounds. That's my honest opinion on that fight. I think Makhachev submits Holloway in 2 rounds at lightweight. I know it's a different style on that, and I'm not even using it to compare to the Ilia fight, but first or second, I think he submits him. Because Holloway just ain't got the pop off the back foot to get respect. So I think Makhachev would just smush him and sub him in a round or 2. Look at Makhachev's back and shoulders at 155, man. How the fuck does he make that weight class? It's probably, you know what? He probably has pretty frail legs. That's probably what it is. Some frail little legs that he's got. I feel like you're completely ignoring how much better of a grappler Ilia is than Dustin. Ilia would chop Islam down like a tree. I'm going to keep it very real with you. I'm just going to keep it very, very real with you. Name me where is the example that Ilia is a way better grappler than Dustin Poirier. Please give me an example as to why you think that. Enough to shuck off Islam Makhachev. The Bryce fight where he dropped Bryce badly twice and then subbed him. Really badly concussed Bryce, wobbled him all over the place, put him down and then subbed him. Please tell me the example. I'm completely ignoring the evidence that Ilia is way better than Dustin Poirier. Dustin gets subbed every title fight. Let me put this to you. Ilia ain't fought Charles Oliveira at 155 yet. You're speaking like you know. We don't know yet. You guys are arguing on like evidence that would happen. That hasn't happened. We don't have the information yet on Ilia. We have it with Makhachev. He started with jiu-jitsu. So does every guy. I'm joking now. But so does every fucking martial artist, dude. It's common sense, retard. Dude, I don't think Bryce Mitchell, at any point in a contest with Dustin Poirier, takes him down in round 1. I just don't think it happens. I don't think it happens. I love Ilia. I want him to win. I'm just thinking from a prediction standpoint. I don't know if he's got it at lightweight, man. He competed in youth wrestling in Georgia on a national level. He competed at a dude, I competed in a national level at Taekwondo. I don't mean shit. You don't mean shit. I can't throw a wheel kick. I know I'm not Ilia, but still, like, I know it's good, and he has a Greco-Roman background, but I don't know, man. I can just competing at a national level as a kid. I don't know. But there's no evidence that he doesn't have it at lightweight. But he got taken down by Bryce at the end of round 1 and held down for a minute. No? I'm not acting like Bryce is shit. But you're acting like we ain't comparing him to Islam fucking Makhachev at lightweight, man. I'm not acting like Bryce is shit. But look at who we're comparing him. Look at the matchups that Ilia's now going to. That was one fight like 3 years ago. It's the only example we have. It's the only example we have of his grappling. I don't know, man. It's tricky. Thank you very much for the $2. 55 TRY. Better scrambler, sure. Better BJJ transitions, yes. A nice looking suplex, sure. But Ilia is not a better grappler than Dustin. We don't know yet. Put it this way. Ilia might have better entries on takedowns. Cool. Better submit. Where's the evidence of like this better submission history? Like he rocked Bryce all over the place, left him a bloody mess, and then arm triangled him. It was a good win. There's no evidence. Like, okay. Better entries on takedowns and better initial takedown defense instincts. In terms of surviving a grappling exchange in an MMA fight throughout 5 rounds, Poirier is one of the fucking best. Thank you for the 55. TRY. Poirier is a survivalist. Poirier was getting out grappled by Dan Hooker for the first 3 rounds. You don't remember the fight correctly in any way. The only times Dan Hooker took down Dustin Poirier was in the last 3 rounds, and those are the rounds that Dustin Poirier won. You're incorrect. And half the top control of Dan Hooker was him being stuck in a guillotine against Dustin Poirier. And a lot of the top control of Dan Hooker in round 4 was him stuck in an armbar off bottom from Dustin Poirier. You don't remember the fight correctly. Don't weigh in on the topic. How would Oliveira do against Bilal? I think that the lightweights would do well at welterweight in general. Ilia was an elite grappler in the regional scene. UFC's elite. I know. Better scrambler. Reddit. Yeah. I'm caught up now. People forget Bryce controlled Ilia on the ground. He did, but you know. How can Ilia beat Bilal? I don't think he can. You think Gaethje beats Topuria? How would it go? I think Topuria would beat Gaethje. Thank you for the 2. Tricky, but I think Topuria would beat him. Gaethje's too standstill-ish, and I think Topuria could catch him on the inside. Like, Gaethje ain't beating him to a hook up, to an uppercut up the middle. You know what I mean? On the inside boxing level. And Gaethje does a lot of reaching for single collars and shit, and I think that's where Ilia would just tear him up with combinations. Guys, Lucas Tracy ranked Islam S tier for dangerous grappling. People forget, man. Topuria has no chance. True. Thank you for the 8 Australia. Well, I don't know if he has no chance. Listen, I think there's an argument for Ilia, but I'm yet to hear a good one other than, like, you know, but it's his destiny. I swear to fucking God, that's the only argument I'm hearing so far. But, dude, this is his destiny. It's written in the prophecy. This is all I'm hearing for Topuria. There's no argument based on evidence we have. There's just like, but dude, trust us. You got to trust us on this one, dude. He's gonna. Trust us. He's got it in the bag. so yeah, that's literally the argument. It's a strong argument because so far he's had some pretty great plot armor. And I am excited for the fight, but I don't know, man. It was promised 3,000 years ago. It was written. I don't know. This is the argument I'm hearing for Ilia. Charles and Islam are bigger and better versions of Bryce. I'd say so. Thank you for the £5. I think even Bryce would say so as well. Any guy with a submission game finished him when it got to the ground. All 3 of his title fights, for example. Listen to me right fucking now, Kyle Rasmussen. Any guy with a submission game finished him 3 times. Oliveira, Makhachev, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Any guy with a submission game. Just any guy. Just any guy with a submission game subbed him. Oliveira, Makhachev, Khabib Nurmagomedov. Legitimately the 3 greatest UFC lightweights of all time. Okay, TKZ way earlier in his career caught him in a dash choke. Cool. When he was baby Poirier. Cool. Not casual take, but this is the guy. Any guy. Any guy. No. Not any guy. And TKZ was putting a whooping on him as well. Yeah, he was on fire that night. He was. He was putting a fucking beat down on baby fucking fat-faced Poirier. I could see Islam having a kick-heavy approach. I think so as well. I think he'd blast kicks into Ilia's arms, pin him to his head with a high and tight guard, and then just shoot in deep. Push him up against the cage, start trying to trip out his legs, get around his waist, drag him down, crab walk him to the side. Current Ilia smokes Bryce quicker. Yeah, I'd agree. He has improved. This is the argument, right? Has he improved enough to take out these lightweights? Poirier looked slower and was outboxed by basic combos from Islam, and Topuria might have better takedown entries at space than Islam. Just going to move on. A lot to fear. Who is Joe? Is the name of it? I don't know if he has the same. I don't know if he has better entries than Makhachev, to be honest with you, man. I don't know. You got to understand that Makhachev has good entries of takedowns when people know that that's immediately what he wants on them in fights. Ilia has good entries on takedowns when he's already fucked people up on the feet and cracked them with big shots that could switch their lights off. Then he gets a good entry. Makhachev's, they know he wants it and he still gets it on him. You know? Put it this way, chat. Makhachev went into the Dustin Poirier fight. The Dustin Poirier that fought Makhachev. Makhachev went into that fight, took down Poirier within 30 seconds, kept him down for the entire round. Does Ilia Topuria do that if he wants to do that to Dustin Poirier? Does he get a takedown and hold Poirier down for a round of an MMA fight? Do you think? I don't think at all. Makhachev gets his takedowns from the clinch. I'm going to say it right now. Entries of a takedown does not equal a complete takedown. Entries of a takedown means how well do you get to the hips, and then Makhachev will go from the hips to do what he wants with next. Yes, it's his destiny. Okay, all right. He's dangerous, man. I could see him winning, but I'm just... there's so many arguments for Makhachev. So many arguments for Makhachev right now. Ilia's the chosen one. Okay, on hood, Ilia wins. Slugging it out. I mean, this has been the argument the entire stream so far. Spain for hours, and Ilia does it again. All right. Thank you for the membership, Crimson Hater. I appreciate that. Why are we acting like Ilia versus DP wasn't a 50-50 fight a week ago? I know, people actually forget how good Dustin really is. He is really good. And Dustin's very, very hard to finish in fights. Ilia versus Zalal isn't a good look. I mean, that was ages ago. I don't even bring up the Zalal fight. I've intentionally not brought up the Zalal fight that much. Purely because of how long ago it was. I'm going back to like the Bryce fight minimum is what I'm going back to. Nobody else even grapples with him, so we have no evidence of Dustin's survival. Benoit Saint-Denis, I mean, we have evidence of Dustin's survival. But then again, Alvarez did take him down. And he was positionally saved by Alvarez's illegal elbows. So I get it. Thank you for the 5. But I don't think there's any argument, dude. He's got good survival. Poirier's got good... He's very difficult to finish in any way in an MMA fight. He just is. The amount of fights that he's had in the game, the amount of 5-rounders he's had, you got to be dynamic to finish Poirier. You know what I mean? Unless you're as dominant as Khabib, you have to be incredibly dynamic. What do you think UFC's cooking in the lightweight division? I don't know. I think they're going to do Topuria, Oliveira, and Makhachev weights for the winner, I think.